Get ready to get in the game. Stretch, strengthen, live, and thrive. You can be a winning athlete in the game of life. It's the Peel Appeal with author and corrective exercise specialist Matt Peel.
Hey, this is Matt Peel with the Peel podcast. How are you today? What's happening out there in your world? Are you driving around? Are you working out? Are you laying out? Are you having a good day? I really hope you are, because today I'm going to make your day even better than it was before. Why? Because we're going to talk about things that help you out where you're at in your life right now to be your best athlete in your game of life. Because that's what it is at the end of the day, right? How can you be better where you are right here today? So today's topic, I get asked this on occasion, but enough that I think warrants a conversation with you to help you out as you figure out in your workouts, am I going to break things down into like full body exercises? Is it better to do individual exercises like curls, or just work on my triceps, my guns? As I'm recording this, it's summertime, so right, sun's out, guns out. You can have your guns out all the time. That's what I like to do. But still, what are some of the best exercises that are really going to benefit you, not just in the gym, but then how can you translate that into real life, right? Because at the end of the day, you got kids, you got the mortgage, you got your work, you got your family, you have to do things at home. You're not necessarily playing professional sports, even if you did in the first place. So what is the best for you? Is it doing isolation type movements, or is it doing total body ones? So we're going to talk about it today, both from a kind of a sports performance standpoint, which then relates to just a real life standpoint for all of you out there that are trying to be that fit over 40, that fit over 50. So bend your arm like you're doing a curl, right at the elbow. Say you don't have any weight in your arm right now, okay? When you bend your elbow, you're working your bicep, right? Of course you are. That's why we do curls. So if you put a weight in there, whether it be a barbell or a dumbbell, and now you hold that and you bend your arm, are you still only using your bicep? The answer is no. You're also using your forearm, because your forearm has to then, that's your grip when you stabilize that dumbbell or that barbell. So you're actually using more than just your bicep. What if you're standing? What else is going on? Well, you have to stabilize your core and your entire body so you don't swing. So are you really doing just a dumbbell curl in isolation? The answer is no. Nothing is ever done in isolation on the body. There's constant balancing and contracting and relaxing of muscles, even for doing something as simple as a dumbbell bicep curl, where we say, I'm only working my bicep. When in reality, your whole body is preparing and stabilizing just for that one arm to move. So what's that called? In the body, it's called regional interdependence. And what that means is that every part of the body is connected to another. So while your right calf might not specifically be involved in the active movement of your left bicep, everything else in the body has to keep you still and stabilized while you are using your left bicep. If something were to happen, for example, in your left bicep, and it doesn't work properly, well then now that actually goes up into your shoulder, because your shoulder is the other end of your bicep. So you got your shoulder joint and the muscles in your shoulder that then have to do some types of compensation because your bicep is injured, it's not weak. So maybe use your shoulder to help with lifting anything like a bicep curl, even just a glass of water. And then you go up into the muscles of your trapezius muscles. So that's when you shrug. Those are your trapezius muscles. So maybe you have to shrug a little bit more to help get that bicep, that hand up to your mouth just to drink that cup of water. So everything is connected to everything else. If you think about it, really, whatever you're doing is actually a total body exercise all the time. But we don't think about it. We just think, I'm just exercising my biceps. I'm just getting these curls for the girls, which sure you are. That's the prime mover of lifting that specific load is your bicep. But a lot of other things in your body have to work properly just so you can get that bicep to work properly and not try to swing it and use everything else to lift that load. So that's really what regional interdependence is. So when we talk about movement called a complex movement, it doesn't mean we're doing calculus or coming up with trivia or rocket science. Complex movement just means multiple joints are moving at once. So as opposed to that bicep curl, where we're just, if we're doing things correctly, right, we're just using that hinge joint on our elbow is the only joint that should be involved when we bend our arm and bring that dumbbell towards our body. We shouldn't be using our shoulder or using our wrist joint to help with the movement. So that would not be considered technically a complex movement because it's just one joint. But when we do things like a bench press, right, multiple joints are being used. Our elbow joints are being used, and our shoulder joints are being used, as well as our wrists to help stabilize the movement at the same time. That's what means complex. Just means more than one joint is being used when doing a movement. Squats are another example of a complex movement, a deadlift or a lunge, or even a shoulder press. So when we talk about complex movements and then into what's a total body exercise, right? Total body exercises really mimic daily life. Let's go back to that bicep. When are we just standing around only doing bicep curls, right? Even if we're drinking a glass of water or drinking a beer, maybe at that point that's all we're doing, but that's not really normal daily life, right? Drinking water is, but maybe not beer all the time. But back to the point, say you pick up a bag of dog food from the ground, right? You're gonna, if you do proper lifting technique, bend at the knees, you bend at the hip, your ankle joints also bend. You pick that up, you do use your arms and your biceps, and you pick up that and your shoulders. You pick up that bag of dog food, maybe you sling it over your shoulder, maybe you just hold it. But just the act of picking up that squatting, that's what a deadlift is, right? We're deadlifting that bag of dog food just like we would deadlift a barbell. So that's a total body exercise just in of itself. You don't really think about it because you don't have to. That's the cool thing about the body. You don't have to voluntarily contract the muscles. They do it on their own. What about when you're putting the dishes away, right? You're leaning over, you're bending over, maybe hinging at the hip. You pick up a plate from below, you turn around, you lift, maybe you have to get on your tippy toes and put it into the cabinet. Right? That's also a total movement with rotation, some balance, definitely coordination, and agility. You can mimic things like that in the gym too by picking up a dumbbell. Maybe you want to curl it, do a shoulder press, a little bit of rotation. All those things are total body exercises done at the same time, right? Taking out the trash, same thing. You want to pick up the trash bag from the ground, pick it up, maybe you have to rotate, lift up the lid, put the bag in the trash can. Multiple joints, complex movements, your entire body is involved, even though you're not thinking about it. Lots of calories being burned, lots of brain power happening, just so you can pick up that trash bag and stick it in the trash can. And I didn't even say about taking it out to the curb, right? That's some other muscles that are being used at the same time too. So total body exercises really do mimic activities of daily living, or ADL, and they're also complex movements. So you have a lot happening. So if we take that back to the gym, what are the benefits there? Well, the benefits of doing something like a thruster or a squat to a shoulder press mimics a lot that we're doing in daily life. A deadlift mimics a lot of what we're doing in daily life, just like I talked about. So we want to incorporate total body exercises into our normal routine. And maybe you haven't thought about it, but you probably are if you're doing squats and lunges and bench presses and deadlifts. Those things, that's life, right? That is life. And the more total body exercise that we do, the easier life becomes. Remember, life is just not a bicep curl, right? It's everything involved. So if we can do more total body exercises as part of your general routine in the gym, and maybe you're doing it already, that's going to make you better for life out there. From a sports performance standpoint, I'm going to give you some information that the National Academy of Sports Medicine talks about, NASM, in their sports performance text that I'm studying. So, because being an athlete, right, is just doing a lot of things that we're doing a little bit faster, maybe a little bit stronger with some more balance coordination, some more speed, right? They're picking up that trash bag and dumping it in a lot faster there on the sports field than we are in our front yard, for an example. So I'm just going to read some of this for you and give that information, and we can kind of talk about then how that relates also to your performance. So, total body and multiple joint exercises are particularly effective for developing strength and muscle coordination as they increase neural demands, that means the nervous system in your brain, by requiring several muscle groups to coordinate in timing and force of contraction. That's exactly what I just talked about, right? We don't have to be on the athletic field to have all that happening just to pick up that bag of dog food. That's still going on. So then it says, given the complexity of most athletic skills, total body exercises such as the barbell deadlift, shrug the calf raise, and squat, curl to two arm press can enhance the transference of training from exercise to sport, also to daily life, as I just gave you examples. For optimal power development, plyometrics and explosive medicine ball exercises can be performed during functional movement patterns. You can do that too, using medicine ball for things like medicine ball toss, maybe do an overhead squat and slam with the medicine ball. Those things are great to develop power within your own body as you're working out. And then, if you have to pick up that bag of mulch, you pick it up with a little tempo, a little pace, throw it up over your shoulder. You walk it from the truck to the backyard, and now you got to throw that and slam it down into the next to the flower bed that you're working on, right? That's power. That's actually sports performance, functional movements. So these total body exercises are vital for us to get out there and function. Now, we talked about from cognitive benefits, right? Because it says there that increased neural demands by requiring several muscle groups to coordinate in timing and force of contraction. From a cognitive standpoint, complex movements help build brain cells in the body. They build new neural pathways, which is called neuroplasticity. And that's how we learn to balance and coordinate and have agility. And we do things like hopefully not falling and injuring ourselves. That also helps to push off symptoms and signs of dementia and Alzheimer's. So the more complex movements we do, the more total body exercises we're doing as we work out, can help you be smarter, which improves your decision making, helps you process information a whole lot faster, helps with things like executive function. That means like remembering how to button your shirt and brush your teeth and not just stand there with a toothbrush in your hand and go, what the hell am I doing here, right? So all these things benefit what you do every single day, physically as well as mentally. So yeah, as we recap and wrap this up, right, it's important to do total body exercises, deadlifts, squats, bench presses, squat to shoulder press or thrusters. If you know how to do Olympic lifts like the clean or variations of the clean or the snatch or clean and jerk, those are all great exercises for your total body, which then gives you the physical and cognitive benefits that you need for those of you out there that are over 40 and over 50 into your weekly routine. So make sure these things, they help with your balance, again, coordination, agility, strength, power. Transferring these skills into your daily life is really what working out is all about at your age, right? Well, because let's face it, professional sports are behind us if we're there. Even collegiate sports are way behind us, even if we were there. So you got to be a professional in your house and at your job. So that's why we're in the gym working out and doing these things to help you keep that professionalism and be your best athlete, remember, in your game, say it, of life. Awesome. Awesome. So to help you keep your body primed and ready for these total body exercises, because I know that you're sitting at your desk most of the day or in your car, leaning into your computer, so your body doesn't function as well, and maybe you're scared to do some of these exercises because your joints and your muscles just don't work in coordination and they're tight and weak and all those things. Why don't you head over to my website, mattpeel.com, click right there. It says, I'm tired of being in pain. And then it sends you to my page and you can figure out which of my online programs, Stretch at Your Desk or Strength at Your Desk, actually both are going to work great in tandem for you to help you stay flexible, mobile, and stronger in 10 minutes or less a day from wherever you are in the world at your desk. Specific exercises help you get more flexibility, more mobility in those tight areas from sitting, and more strength in those areas that are weak from sitting. So it helps you be more healthy, more active, better performer in everything that you do right there, whether you're working from home or you're at the office or wherever it may be. Head over to mattpeel.com and let me help you today. So this is Matt Peel with the Peel Appeal Podcast. I will talk to you later.
Are you ready to get in the game? Get personal help, sign up for our newsletter, and pick up your copy of Athlete in the Game of Life, the book, all at mattpeel.com. Thanks for listening.